Hello and welcome to the NewmanFootball.com. We're glad you're here. If you're here, it's probably because you've heard of the revolutionary new football and you want to see what it's all about. So you might be asking yourself, why? Why do we need a new football? What's to do with the new football? Well, before we get into the football, I want to talk to you about a few other things. And it's really all about the change in sports in general. For example, baseball. Through the first decade of the 20th century, baseball was all a game of strategy. The so-called dead ball provided very few home runs, and the game really relied on contact hitters, bunting, and base stealing for its offense. But then with the adaptation of the new ball, with the cork center in 1911, it changed the game dramatically. 40 years of batting records began to fall, and the popularity of the game it just exploded. Then you look at basketball. When James Naismith first invented the game of basketball in 1891, a soccer ball and a peach basket were used. The first basketballs were made from panels of leather stitched together with a rubber bladder inside. The molded basketball, introduced in about 1942, was a huge advancement for the sport. The molded ball, a factory-made ball that had a constant size and shape, offered better reaction and better durability, making play more consistent and the development of individual skills easier. And even in football, yes, even in football, we have seen changes. Obviously you started off with the leather football helmet, and as times moved along, it just made more sense to make the helmets plastic and then to put a face mask on the helmet besides just one bar. So there has been a gradual change in football with the helmet. So what do these changes have in common? Well, the changes made sense, and they enhanced the game. As we said in basketball, it helped individuals increase their skill. That's what brings about a Michael Jordan. We may have never heard of a Michael Jordan. There may have never been an MJ without the advancement of basketball. The popularity of baseball may never have reached what it is right now if the baseball had never changed. So let me ask you then, what if there were no laces on a baseball? Would a pitcher still be able to throw a breaking ball? Well, of course. But would he have good control over the ball? And the answer is probably not. And the reason is because without the laces, your two main throwing fingers, which is your pointer and middle finger, that's used to control accuracy, could not maintain an accurate grip on the ball. So now let's talk about the traditional football. The traditional football is designed with one set of laces positioned in the center of the ball. The laces are utilized for gripping the ball. And when football first started, quarterbacks actually grabbed the ball on the laces, which obviously led to poor results in passing, and it was inconsistent. And that's the reason why football was mainly a running game. But as time has progressed, quarterbacks have realized a better pass could be thrown if the ball was gripped toward the end of the ball. Still, although a better pass could be thrown, usually the two main fingers used to grip the ball for trajectory and control are not even on the laces. So let me ask you, what's wrong with these pictures? These are all well-known quarterbacks. So what's wrong with these pictures? Well, as you can clearly see, the main fingers are not even on the laces. So let me ask you, what if the laces were moved so that the hand could actually be on the laces? Kind of like the baseball we were talking about earlier. Introducing the Newman Football, and what we believe is the official football of the 21st century. And it's at last it's a football that has caught up with the times. With its patented designed laces perfectly positioned where the hand and fingers need to go for precise passing. It's the obvious next step in the evolution for the game of football. And I know what you're thinking. I know as soon as you saw the ball, I know exactly what you were thinking. You're probably thinking, this is just weird, man. I mean, it's different. I don't know about this. But then, I mean, if you stop and think about it, I have to imagine that your next impression would be, yeah, well, it makes sense. I mean, like what we talked about with the baseball. I mean, when the laces were introduced and the main fingers were able to go along the laces or how you needed them to be, it kind of makes sense because now you can throw a better baseball. And the same theory applies with the football. Now your main fingers are going to be right where they need to be on the football. So now the next obvious impression would be that it's a dud. I mean, you have to experience it. I mean, you want to try this football out, and once you do, it's like a hand in glove feeling that you've never had with the football. And what's great about this is that it's not just for the quarterback; it's for the running backs and receivers. When tucking the ball away and running, your fingers can actually grip the laces, giving you a more secure hold on the ball, which means that there's going to be less fumbles. And obviously, for defense, that's not good. But if you're an offensive player, that's a good thing. So again, we believe this is the official football of the 21st century. And one day, every football game being played on the planet, from the Super Bowl to the backyard, will be played using a Newman football. Why? Because it makes sense. So we hope you enjoyed this presentation, and we thank you for watching.